Production.
Yo, we're gonna do a little Neo breakdown here. So we came back down to that lower trend line. Now we could redraw this honestly, because it looks like we're starting to get a better reaction from this angle. So I'm gonna just move it up, and we still got plenty of touches here, and it looks like it makes more sense from this angle, honestly. So that could be the play where this is the lower trend line. We're getting those 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces from the lower one. And now could be the time where we start to rise back and curl up to the upper trend line here. So the triangle is still intact. Doesn't mean it's fully going to play out, but I do like seeing this reaction at the bottom of this trend line here. Now, I still got $34, this 34 range marked out, because we could come back down further and get a tap there too, because we do have 1, 2, 3, and a nice overshoot, making 4 touches of this trend line, or this support line. So Neo's still looking pretty solid. Don't sleep on Neo. I will mention though that the weekly looks very interesting from a bearish perspective, right? So I'm going to take off all this, and when we look at the weekly here, we're getting that high, low, lower high. We're starting to get those small gaps. You know, it's very interesting to see, like, if this range, this 34 range doesn't hold, it could be looking scary for Neo. So just keep in mind, right? We have this triangle setting up here, but it doesn't guarantee anything's going to happen. We could, right now, we could have that head and shoulders pattern playing out, which doesn't look so hot for the bulls, right? We got the left shoulder here, we have the head, and this could be on the weekly, the right shoulder. So just keep that in mind, right? That this $34 range could be the neckline of that pattern, the bearish pattern of the head and shoulders. So it's worth paying attention to. You don't want to just dismiss it, and then when it happens, it's like, oh, I never seen it coming. It's very possible. I do like the looks of it from a bullish perspective, but at the same time, you got to be open-minded enough to look at where it could potentially go. Now, if we are looking at it like that, when I use the fibs, it's looking like it could potentially come back down to this $19 range if it does break down. So when we look at it from a daily perspective, that kind of makes sense, right? Like, this was one of the periods of confluence that we stalled in for a little bit. So we could have some play in this range and get that bounce from that level if we do decide that, like, oh, we're turning bearish. We're just going to keep that in mind there. I do like this triangle setup on a momentum stock, right? Big momentum last year. Now we need that time to consolidate. If we start to get that movement and momentum again, this is what this pattern really signifies, is that it's consolidating in a triangle, but it could fail. The failure would be this head and shoulders pattern. So that's what we got for this week's breakdown. A little bit of technical analysis. I'll be back at this Neo breakdown maybe by the end of the week. I might do 2 this week, we'll see, but if not, I'll definitely have another one posted for next week. Peace.